So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the weekly analysis session of GMT, wherein we look at the markets, how they behaved over the last 1 week, over the last few weeks, and try and extrapolate it to what is expected in the future, coming future, or for the next 1 week or so. As you can see on the charts, you will see SPX, which is being shown, which is a weekly chart being shown to you, right? Now, by the looks of it, you will see the last 5 candles are all green candles, but the body of each green candle is reducing in size. What this indicates to you is that though the market is climbing and rising, there is a high probability it is reaching its resistance levels or of about 6,150, 6,147 to be precise. Currently, SPX is at 5,950. So you're talking about another about 200 points upward rally. But mind you, that is the resistance zone coming in. So you are in an overbought situation, which is very clearly evidently shown both by the Williams-R as well as the other indicators down there. It is also trading above the mid Bollinger level, which is the reason why your double top at 6147 becomes important. Now, if it trades above 6147 on an hourly closing basis or on a daily closing basis, then you can look for a new target of 6325. Clear? Only and only if the market clocks, SPX clocks above 6150 on a nearly day closing basis, your next target is 6320. Otherwise, if it reverses around 6150, so 6110, 6100 or 6150, your first target on the way down should be around 5,770. So 5777 on the way down if it does not cross 6150 on a closing basis, because that is the resistance level on SPX. Now let's check the same chart on a daily chart basis. This is weekly. Weekly we have just closed. Today the markets are closed, and this is exactly what we see here. Touching the upper
Sir,
Bollinger
the
Band.
market is open. So what we are seeing is
Today's market
a
is open.
dynamic price. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would be closed today. No, all
US
right.
market is open.
Open. I'm so sorry. All right. So currently, if you look at it, it is already in the sideways range on the upper Bollinger Band, and it is not finding it able to go climb further up. High probability it may come down and now test 5666. I was earlier giving you a figure of 5777. This is clearly indicating 5666. So the weekly chart was giving you a lower figure, higher figure. This is much more realistic. But when does this come? When do you enter a trade on the downside? If the low of 5,700, 800 is taken out. If 5,800 is taken out and it trades below that on an hourly close basis or on a daily close basis, then 5,666 is the next target. But how much to go up? I don't think it should go up much more. It is reaching an exhaustion level. You're 200 points away from your weekly resistance level. So I will be very careful in trading longs on SPX. Right? You want to take any next index, Kamal? Any questions?
And
Please feel free to ask. This is
So
Nasdaq,
yeah.
which is pretty similar to what we were seeing on SPY, SPX. Again, your double top is very clearly seen at about 22 or which is the number there?
So
22 to 32.
22,020. Yeah,
Yeah,
22,200.
that's about another about 900 points up. If it trades up, your target of 23,000 is opening up for you. But be very careful. You have little upside, little upside. Your other indicators are all overbought position, so you will have to be careful while taking a trade here. So my suggestion is stay light on your positions for future. Wait for that double top to be taken out and then take a new trade. Otherwise, use that as a selling opportunity and try and bring it down to the mid Bollinger level, which is about 20,500 or 20,550. This is a weekly chart. Can you make this on a daily chart? Same, sideways. Last 5 days, it has been moving in a very narrow sideways manner, and your indicators are all in an overbought position. One negative news, one wrong tweet, and this could come down. Here again, your target is clearly 20,100 on the mid Bollinger level. If and only if 20,850 gets breached on the downside for more than 1 hour closing basis or on a day closing basis. So it's actually a no trade zone just now. Or if you're trading with very close stop losses and very careful monitoring while trading on it. Any questions? Anybody here? Mahesh, Vivek, Vishal, anybody else? Fine. Let's move to the next counter.
Sir, one more index, SOX index. If you can take this is semiconductor index because many
This you
members are
manage.
trading.
This you manage. It's your domain. You're the expert there.
Yeah. So for SOX as well, similar to what we saw for SPX and Nasdaq 100, on the weekly chart, it's uh, trading above the mid Bollinger Band, and the resistance would be close to 5,300 for SOX as well. But since it's trading sideways, as we'll see on the daily chart, expect some correction, and this gap up which it had couple of weeks back, it should close that gap, or it would at least take support on the mid Bollinger Band level, which is at 4,659. So another close to 200 points drop. As Vivek had mentioned, the indicators are in overbought region, which shows that there is small correction expected. When you look on the daily chart, uh, the downward or the lower lows formation is clear, more clearer for SOX compared to what we saw for SPX or Nasdaq 100. The indicators are in overbought region and have turned downward. So correction is more clearer on the daily chart for SOX. This 200 EMA at 4,700, which is about 180 points lower, and the mid Bollinger Band is at close to 4,500, which could be a strong support. If it breaks down this EMA 200 level. So for this week, as VXR was suggesting, it's trading at a sideways uh, direction trend, and then if you are planning to take a trade, it would be good to take a sell on uh, rise trade. Or
Anuj, can you change the candle from regular candlestick to Heikin-Ashi?
sure.
Do you realize what we were just talking about, everybody? The candles of Heikin-Ashi, our body is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. And the last two candles is giving you a wick on both sides. So a reversal is round the corner. Now this is actually true for all the three indices that you have seen just now. And that is the reason why I asked him to change it only on SOX and not earlier. Because this is what is happening all through and through. Heikin-Ashi candles explained to you earlier, the body is becoming smaller and smaller, and the last two candles has got wicks on both sides. Basic anatomy of Heikin-Ashi candles is at play.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right. So you would like Dow Jones?
Well, if you can, it will be a similar thing.
Yeah. I'll take it on Yahoo Finance. This is 1 minute. I'll change to week. Yeah, so this is Dow Jones on weekly chart.
Weekly chart, right? Now, if you look at it, the weekly chart very carefully, the last candle formed is currently today's candle, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, 43,000 is one of the earlier resistances that we had created and seen, which you can see somewhere in the beginning of 2025, around or the end of 2024. It gave you that resistance stop, which is here.
Around this level, 44,500.
December and January. Yeah, around this level also, it gives you the same level of resistance levels at approximately about 43 or 44,000.
Yeah.
43,900.
That would be this resistance,
Yeah.
43.
43,800, 43,900, beginning of January 2025. 45,000 also touched. What I'm trying to tell you is that the candles are now being formed, and you have to be very careful on the weekly candle because you are reaching a resistance level of approximately 42,000 or 43,000. 43,000 is a resistance level which is being maintained on a weekly chart. Any
On a daily
questions?
chart. Yeah.
On a daily chart, what is it talking about?
It's almost reaching the upper Bollinger Band, which has flattened
Yes.
and is now going to act as resistance. This, yeah,
Can you
43,000 will be the resistance.
Yes, and can you convert the changes to Heikin-Ashi now on a daily chart? Do you see a double top happening at a figure of about 43,000 or 42,800?
Yeah.
Right? Now you look at it, the third last candle. Surprising because trading view is giving me a different candle on a Heikin-Ashi. So these are not Heikin-Ashi,
Um,
these are regular candles. Just change it to Heikin-Ashi.
sorry, Yahoo Finance.
Ah, yeah, Yahoo will not give you Heikin-Ashi. So sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it is giving you a double top at about 43,000.
Right. So this is the level we have seen as the resistance, and also the upper Bollinger Band is at the
Yes,
same level, which
yes.
shows
And
the
at the same
resistance.
time, the candle is now going. The third last candle is giving a double wick on a Heikin-Ashi. I'm watching it on trading view. It is a double top.
So
Kamal,
just about 300 points uh, from the resistance. So you can expect correction soon, right? You are saying something, Vivek, sir?
no, I just had a call. That's the reason why.
Okay, no worries. So from the Dow Jones daily chart as well, the resistance is just about 300 points, and at that resistance, you can expect either profit booking for those who had entered at lower prices, or selling, and once it corrects the mid Bollinger Band level of 41,150, close to 41,150 could be the level which should be watching for it to take support, and the stocks which are tracked by Dow Jones, um, at those level would be suitable for entry if you are looking to enter. So for now, even if you look at the indicators are in overbought condition. So for the short term, especially this week, that has formed a candle which is showing that it could close higher from where it closed on last session. The upside is very small, so it's not a suitable time to open a new position. Rather wait for it to touch the upper Bollinger Band, face resistance, and if you are trading in inverse ETF, could be a short trade with the inverse ETF or puts. When it drops and comes closer to the mid Bollinger Band, which could be the point of entry for taking longer positions. All right. Any questions for any of the indexes that we discussed before we go to Canadian index? All right. So we take TSX composite. TSX has had a slightly different trend. If you look from past 6 weeks, it has been bullish, and even this week it has had a bullish opening, and with that it has almost formed. If you look further, it has almost reached the this level of closer to the upper Bollinger Band. The level at upper Bollinger Band is close to 26,000, so it's almost touching the 26,000 level. Here, previous high that it had made was of 25,827, which it has surpassed, and the upper Bollinger Band can be expected as the next resistance. So for those who are holding on to Canadian stocks, it would be at a good profit. If you are planning to book your profits, watch for another 30 points close to 26,000. We can expect a correction, at least looking on the weekly chart. The previous highs, recent highs, it has surpassed, and the upper Bollinger Band could be the next resistance.
How can you change this from weekly to monthly chart?
Yeah, I did change the last
No,
candle.
monthly chart.
Yeah, this is monthly. The last candle was
And
not
now and
showing
now
that.
and now zoom into it. Zoom into it and show me only
Let's see.
the no zoom such a way I can see the chart. The last second last candle. You see the long
So,
wick.
yeah, the last
Vishal,
candle, it's not showing. The second last candle, the long wick. Uh,
Vishal, this is specifically for you for the question that you asked me about 25 minutes back. As to sorry, not you. Mehsoon had asked this question. How did we predict it or not? This was the prediction. This candlestick is what was talking about, like a dragonfly doji. Possibly Mahesh and Vivek and the others will endorse this immediately. This is the candle. Look at the candle and look at it when it was formed and when did they buy. Right? So this is what is being taught in the course. How do you identify the candle and how do you identify the trade? Go back to your analysis.
yeah, thanks, Vivek sir. So they dropped there on the monthly chart. It touched almost the mid Bollinger Band, which was a good entry level. And in the last about 1.5 months, the market has pulled it up. So it's just that it's not showing the last candle properly. It's just showing as a big gap up. However, on the monthly chart and looking at the monthly chart, it still shows there's a potential for the Canadian stocks to go further up. The upper Bollinger Band is at 27,000 level, which is another close to or over 1,000 points. So based on the weekly and daily chart, there could be a small correction. However, the overall trend is bullish. That's why we have seen this strong bullish pattern on the weekly chart, since the monthly chart is still showing further upside of close to 1,000 points. If you look on the daily chart, there has been a gradual upside, and it has still not gone out of the upper Bollinger Band, uh, which indicates that the market is bullish, and the correction to bring the price down, if it continues with this steady pace, the 26,000 could be the range that market could be looking to book some profits. And if it corrects, 25,000, 24,900 could be the support for re-entry and taking it further for 27,000 that we saw on the monthly chart. Vexa, do you have any
No,
different
I think you're
perspective?
perfectly valid. That the next support, because if it gives you a retracement, the perfect point of entry will be 25,800, which has been a double top on a daily chart, and it will bounce back and give you a retracement to buy back again for further upward journey. It's given you a very clean upward run, slow and steady, small candles. So get ready for a good movement later, but buy at the right spot. If you're buying at 25,800, your stop loss should be approximately 25,650. That's the way it should be
Yeah,
on a daily chart basis, daily closing basis.
yeah. All right. So with that, we covered the indexes analysis. And now we'll just quickly take commodities as well. So those who are trading futures, looking at
Kamal,
weekly
can I
chart.
drop out?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you for bearing with me. And I'm sorry I'll be leaving early. Thank you, everybody.
No problem. Thank you, Vik, sir. All right. So for the crude oil, if we look on the weekly chart, it was 3 weeks back, it was in oversold condition and has started moving up. With the current candle formation, the mid Bollinger Band is at is further up, so we can still expect some uh, further upside for this stock. And currently at 663, with the current trend, the next resistance would be close to this EMA, which is at 67. So another 4 points of upside based on the weekly chart. And if you look on the daily chart, uh, it took support on the mid Bollinger Band and has started moving up. The upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart is at 65, so which is 65.30, which is another $2 profit. So those who are trading crude oil futures, it looks to be a good time to take call options for the short term trade with first level 65 and the next resistance could come around on the daily interval around 68 or 69, which itself is a about $5 upside and could be good to hold if you are taking contracts of next month or um, June or July contracts, then call options for the contracts expiring in June or July for 65 or 67 uh, could be quite profitable. Uh, for those who are new in terms of crude oil lot size is 1,000. So um, before taking any trade, please do follow some of the trades before starting trade in the crude oil. But in terms of the trend, it looks bullish from both on the weekly and the daily charts. If we look at gold, uh, gold's reversal has started. If you look from past about 4 to 5 weeks, the trend is downward. On the indicators, Williams R, RSI, MACD, all the indicators are downward. The next support to look on the weekly chart is close to 3000, 3050. And if you are holding gold, then I think it would be good to come out of it, or for those who are trading gold futures, for the next month's contract or July contract, uh, looking at either puts or the contracts with the 3000 or 3050 looks suitable. From the daily chart, it has formed a green candle today. However, the mid Bollinger Band could act as the resistance, uh, which could be the level that you could look for buying a put trade. So 3285 could be the next resistance to watch for. And then next we will go to crypto, and I, I would specifically take BTC USD, so it's easier reference for others. Uh, in terms of BTC, I think we discussed last week as well that it's almost touching the upper Bollinger Band, and even though it's trading at all-time high, and the upside is small in terms of the resistance. With the weekly resistance is at 110,000. So if you are already holding it for a short term trade, it could be good to book your profit. If you are beginning trading in crypto or want to add funds in any of the coins, because Bitcoin is almost at the resistance or at high, um, it would be better to wait for the correction to happen. And once it comes to the mid Bollinger Band level close to 93,600, if it holds that support, then you could consider to and consider to enter in small quantity. But if it's a drastic drop, then it can easily go further down to the level here that we see close to 81,000, which would be uh, close to 20% drop. So there would be some catalyst, negative news that could trigger. Um, but in terms of uh, entry for a new trader, in term for the cryptos, that could be the levels that you could watch. For now, expect a small correction at least, which can bring it down close to 94k, and keep a watch on uh, the downtrend if it's steep, or if it's if it takes time to reach that level, then there's a uh, chance that it could take support at the mid Bollinger Band. All right. So looking on the daily chart, if you look at the daily chart, the level that we were seeing on the weekly chart of 93k is at the um, lower Bollinger Band. The two EMAs are also merging at the lower Bollinger Band, which could act as a strong support for entering in Bitcoin or any of the uh, crypto coins that you are uh, interested to enter. So Bitcoin forms the um, most stable coin, or the coin that is tracked as indexes on the stocks. So if Bitcoin takes support near 93k, that could be good time for the other coins for entry as well. All right. Vivek, you had any specific question about crypto? You are looking for screeners which we can take separately, but in terms of the Bitcoin analysis, do you have any question? If you are speaking, you're muted. We can't hear you, Vivek. Uh, yeah, it seems Vivek, there's some audio issue and we can't hear you. Maybe you can type. No, Vivek, we can't hear you. All right. Meanwhile, Mahesh or Vishal, do you have any question?
No, I'm good. I'm not into crypto now.
Okay. All right. Uh, no, Vivek, we can't hear you. So maybe we'll have to uh, take our discussion outside of this call. I can see that you are trying to speak, but we can't hear you for some reason. Okay, so yeah, maybe Vivek, you can type if you have any uh, specific request for crypto. If not, then we will take couple of stock and ETF request um, before we wrap it up. All right. So with that, we will uh, go to stocks and ETFs request. Before I go to the other request, Vivek has requested for Google. We'll take Google, and then Mahesh and Vishal, if you have any stock requests, we can take those after Google. All right. So for
Hi, Kamal. Can you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you now. So would you mind repeating what you were saying? Sorry, we couldn't hear you previously.
Yeah, Kamal. Like what I'm thinking is like, we if the way we screen stocks, we have something that's we can do for same for crypto. Uh, we can build even small based on the risk and everything in a crypto portfolio, right? So that is something if we can include into the weekly calls, that would be helpful.
Okay. So in terms of the crypto screeners, maybe I'll share separately with you and in the in our premium group for the cryptos for analysis. We can certainly include in the GMT analysis sessions. Apart from Bitcoin, if you're interested in any other crypto that you would like to trade, that comes up from the screeners that will be
Yeah, man. Yeah.
taking in the group, right? So those cryptos which come in the screener, we can definitely include in our analysis.
Sure, man. Sure.
All right. So talking about the analysis for Google, Google on the weekly chart, the indicators have flattened. Last week it had good upward move. The correction that it had happened a week before, it almost recovered from that and closed higher, and this week it has opened flat. uh, so we need to look on the daily chart. On the daily chart, it has had a gap down opening and is moving upward. However, in the indicators, Williams R is overbought. RSI is close to 56. It has typically faced resistance in the RSI at this level. So can expect it to correct. The upper Bollinger Band and the EMA, which could have acted as the resistance, it almost touched those levels. If you see last week, in the last session, it touched the upper Bollinger Band, and the profit booking happened with the upward price rejection. So with gap down opening today, the indicator has turned downward, and if you are looking for entry around 164 or 164 or 162 could be entry for Google if you are planning to enter. uh, Vivek, I know you had entered previously, so were you able to exit from Google position last week?
No, Kamal, like I still hold it. I think like I entered in a decent price, but I'll have to see tomorrow because today there is no trading. Yeah.
Right. Today it's trading in the US market.
Yeah, I mean,
So
as far as the CDR, it won't, right?
sorry about that. Okay, so uh, in terms of the re-entry, maybe if you want to add to your positions, you can look if it takes supports close to 162.
Yeah.
Uh, if it touches, if it drops under 162 and then starts moving up, then you can consider for re-entry. 157.5 seems to be a support level. Um, if you see the mid Bollinger Band is not holding up, then 157.5 could be the next support to look for, as it had a small gap up there. If it breaks down the mid Bollinger Band, then it could potentially try to close this gap
Mm,
up here, small gap up, which could be the next level for entry as a support.
okay.
All right. Yeah. For the average down, like if you would be entering some more to average down, make sure that your average comes lower to 170, lower than 173. So when it touches the mid Bollinger level band level on weekly chart, you will be able to close in small profit or break even, unless you are on this for longer term, in which case you could still hold.
Sure, man. Pretty much on longer term, but let's see.
Yeah, so with Google you would get chance to definitely exit in profit if you are on it on a longer term. But since you mentioned that your average was slightly higher, you can watch for this correction for uh, adding to your position so that your average comes to slightly lower, and you
Sure,
can
man.
be your position can be green sooner. All right. Uh, Next that you had was FTS. Fortis. For Fortis on weekly chart, the last two candles it had moved down, but with the um, lower price rejection, you see a green candle forming, and indicators on the weekly chart has turned upward. With the current price, the upside of 47.75, it's close to 2.5 or about more than $2 profit is what you can expect based on the weekly upper Bollinger Band. The monthly chart is not so encouraging. The monthly chart has turned downward. So, Vivek, are you looking to enter or have you already entered?
No, I have a small position in this, but I wasn't green. Um, So if you see the other weekly chart, there was a dragonfly, so that's why I entered.
Yeah. So
Hammer, sorry, previous week. So
right,
I think like I'm okay holding it. I'm not in big position, but it's, these are good companies.
right. So on the weekly chart, it has reversed. It's just that on the monthly chart, it shows downtrend. So once you are in profit, I would suggest to book your profits. I think probably you entered based on what you see on the daily chart, which is
Hmm.
encouraging if you have entered 2 or 3 days before when it was under the lower Bollinger Band,
Yeah.
and uh, the up, upward move on the on the indicators on the both daily and weekly chart uh, seems that there's an upside expected. Um, Even in terms of the candle formation, it's indicating that you can expect it to easily touch the mid Bollinger Band, and uh, after that, the next resistance would be close to 49.50.
Sure,
And
man.
yeah, for, although upper Bollinger Band is showing 50, but as you know,
Yeah.
um, profit booking happens, right? So see here, 49.69 was the high. So I would suggest to look for 49.50 as the target. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, because there are other stocks which could have higher potential. This monthly chart is discouraging. That's why I'm suggesting to book your profit and exit.
Okay, man. Sure. Sure.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Great. So next we will take Mahesh request and Vishal for NVDA. Thanks for that. There have been couple of requests from others as well for NVIDIA. So I did have NVIDIA in my request list. That's
Yeah,
good.
please.
Sure. So SOX index we did analysis. So SOXL and XS would follow the similar analysis. Uh, Let me just expand. Currently, it is under mid Bollinger Band. The mid Bollinger Band for SOXS is at 2035, which is another about $1, $2.20. So that's the upside. Um, the indicator has turned downward because it has had a gap down opening today, and that's because if you see on the daily chart, it was in overbought region out of the Bollinger Band, so correction was expected, and hence it has formed lower lows. There's a gap up here, and because it has had a gap down opening, which means the correction is continuing. If it takes support at this EMA level, which is, yeah, so this EMA level of close to 1680, if it takes support at this, then it's good. However, uh, there is a possibility that it could break down and close this gap, in which case the entry for SOXL would be the mid Bollinger Band price of 14, which is about $4 drop. So if you see from risk to reward perspective, it's not favorable. The upside is $2.30 and the downside is $4. So from the SOXL trend and indicators perspective, it's expected to drop down further. So wait for it to close this gap and watch for entry at 14. If you look at SOXS, then whether SOXS has a better potential. It almost touched the first TP in in the aftermarket on Friday. The indicators are in oversold condition, and this we are looking on the daily chart. Today it has kind of faced resistance at this EMA level, EMA 5. The next resistance to look for is 1361, which is close to uh, almost like $2 or $1.80. That would be the first resistance, and the second resistance would be once it closes this gap. So target of 1561. If you are looking to enter, uh, this 1150 could be the support. So if you can see that the drop of another 25 cents happen, and then it continues uh, going up to 1150, it takes support, that could be the price where you can enter for uh, the resistance of 1361. Even if you enter around 1160, once it takes support at 1150 and you enter at 1160, there's still a upside of $2. However, because it is SOXS and inverse ETF, any positive news from Trump or um, from any of the semiconductor stocks, it could take it down. So entry in a SOXS from the chart perspective looks attractive, but please enter with a close stop loss. So the low here was 11.02. Uh, if you are entering, the stop loss could be 10.90 or 10.85. Your buy between 1150 to 1160 for first target of 1360 and second target of 1560. If it reaches sooner, then the third target of 1660. So there's $2 first target, close to $4 second target, and additional $1 for third target. But enter with a close stop loss. If you are already onto this, you can still hold, but make sure that you do have stop loss in case it has a drastic drop, which based on technicals is less likely, but it's always good to be prepared in case the market takes it further down. Looking at SQQ, be similar. Both SQQQ and SOXS are inverse ETFs. So it almost touched the lower Bollinger Band, and the next target to look is the EMA here, which is at 2642. If you are entering even at the current price, however, because it is forming a red candle today, wait for entry towards the close of market. So typically after 3:30, and then you can enter with for first target of 2642, and the second target, if it closes the gap close to 2830, and if the rise is uh, is quicker than the mid Bollinger Band level of 29. If it moves up faster, the mid Bollinger Band level could update to higher, but as of now, uh, that would be the third target. Since it is in oversold, it does look attractive. The only thing to look for is the red candle that it is forming. It has formed today. Uh, so wait for the reversal on 1 hour chart. You would see a reversal on 1 hour chart. Once it forms a green candle or it shows a clear reversal, then you can plan to enter. And same goes for SOXS as well. Now it's almost getting close to the lower Bollinger Band. If you see Williams or RSI, it's almost reaching in the oversold region. So uh, that makes it attractive for entry in case if you haven't entered. Mahesh, just because I'm discussing now, are you already onto this or you're looking to enter?
Yes, I already entered on Friday evening. These two, and I think I'll hold for some time and I'll watch how it goes.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so that's good. So next one is TSLL. So TSLL, it's almost reaching the resistance. It is facing resistance at the mid Bollinger Band, which uh, could be a strong resistance. And the next, so with this resistance, watch for correction. And on the weekly chart, 12.6 looks to be a support. Let's see on the daily chart. Uh, it has had a gap down opening and is getting uh, resistance at this EMA, which is 200 EMA. If the correction happens, and I would suggest to watch for correction and wait for it to drop for entry when it closes this gap. This small gap here would be a good entry point. So the mid Bollinger Band is 1128. This EMA is close to 12. That could be good level for entering Tesla. So which is close to $2.70 of drop. It may not happen immediately, um, but I think it could be profitable to wait for that correction to happen and enter for it to take at higher levels. Currently, it is at in the overbought region, so expect some correction for TSLL. Right? Okay. So
Thanks, Kamal.
yeah, you're welcome. Next is NVDA. Right. So NVIDIA is almost reaching the high that it had last week. We had discussed it has a weekly resistance close to 140. Uh, so another $5 on the weekly chart. But the point to be cautious is that Williams has reached overbought region and has flattened. RSI is not in overbought region yet. However, the Williams is in overbought region and is flat, indicating that uh, it's trading sideways. If you look on the daily chart from last 4 sessions, it's almost um, facing resistance at this 35.5 level. Both Williams R and RSI are in overbought region, which means technically it is indicating that correction is expected. Although the upper Bollinger Band is upward close to 139.46. However, looking at the indicators and because it is in overbought region, the risk of holding for targets above 139 or 140, which we also discussed the resistance on the weekly chart. The risk of holding above those resistance levels would be higher. So when it reaches 139.5 or 140, it could be a good price for you to book your profits. With your current positions, and if you are actually looking to add to your positions or enter, uh, wait for it to correct. The first support could be at close to 126.9, which means around 127, and then the second support would be around 117, which would be a very good buy for buying and holding it for high, medium to longer term.
So Kamal, so to book the profit, should I wait for this to reach to 138.39?
So typically how we suggest is that at the current level, because it faced resistance last week and today also it is hitting the same level at around 135.5. If you see almost last four candles, right? So at this uh, resistance, you should be booking profit from 50% to uh, 70 to 75% of your positions, and hold only remaining for the next target. So in case the market corrects from this level, you don't lose out on your entire profit, right? So the let's say if you book 60% of your positions profit, then you can hold remaining 40% for 139 target. If it corrects from the 135 level, then at least you have booked profit for your 60% positions and you will have cash to re-enter later. Make sense?
Yep, got it.
Yeah. Or if you want, I can repeat that again. So basically booking profits for some portion of your positions and keeping smaller position for the next target, right? So that you
Got
still have
it.
cash for buying again. Okay. And in terms of the trend, like when you are holding, and whether you would like to decide uh, to book profit or no, you can see on the lower intervals, it would be clearer. So when you see on 1 hour chart, it's facing resistance at this level. However, it can still go close to 136. 136 would be the resistance. So if you are planning to book profit for 60% of your positions, you could set a limit sell at 136, and for the remaining 40%, 139.5 or 140. So for now it looks like it can still go half a dollar further up, close to 136 today.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So next one is UNH. Okay. Yeah, UNH had strict downtrend, and in the last week it had a gap down. So the last week on 15th, it was under lower Bollinger Band and then has started moving up. If you look at on the indicators, there's a clear reversal. I know Vivek has been following this. So Vivek, if you have already entered, uh, that's great. And today it, yesterday and I mean on Friday and today it has had a good recovery, or it has moved up. and has potential to go further up. Looking at the trend, the reversal, at least on the daily chart, is clear. So you can hold it for higher targets. Uh, if you have entered close to 250, I think it would be good to hold it for target close to mid Bollinger Band around 375, which uh, which it can close. It can reach to close this gap down that it had last week.
Thank you, Kamal.
You're welcome. I know you were onto this from the dividend perspective as well. So also, when since you have entered, uh, keep an eye on the dividend cycle. Does it give quarterly dividend?
Kamal, like it has another one called YUNH, Kamal. That is the same yield share and it is around 10%.
Okay, okay, that's great. So why UNS, is it US or is it CDR?
It is CDR.
Okay, so CDR won't show you here. That's good. So if you have entered those in the last two sessions, it has had a good recovery, and along with that, if it gives about 10% dividend, that's cherry on top of what you'll be getting in terms of growth. So that's a good
Exactly. Yeah.
entry.
The weight is not going in waste.
Hmm. Yeah, and even on the weekly chart, it has a good upside. It's currently under the lower Bollinger Band. The indicators have reversed up, so it's a good stock to enter even at the current price. So thanks Vivek for tracking this for some time, and good that you were able to enter this last week.
No problem.
Awesome. All right, so there's one another request for Microsoft, and then after this we'll take one more last request to close for the day. So Microsoft has recovered from the drop that it has had this year. It has uh, made high above the highs that it had in December, and is almost touching the upper Bollinger Band. It touched the upper Bollinger Band in the last trading session. Today also it's almost close to the upper Bollinger Band. The upper Bollinger Band is slightly upwards. However, if you look on the Williams R, it is in overbought region. RSI is not in overbought region yet. So if you had entered from uh, medium term to long position, you could still hold, but the upside seems very limited. 469, the upper Bollinger Band here. Uh, Upper Bollinger Band was close to 459. That too on the monthly chart, and uh, the weekly chart upper Bollinger Band also it's touching. So if you are already in profit, uh, I would suggest to book profits for at least 75% of your positions, with the indicators in overbought, and also index analysis that Vivek sir shared earlier about S&P 500 and NASDAQ expecting correction. The Microsoft's correction could actually reflect on those indexes. So although on the daily chart it's not above the upper Bollinger Band, but the indicators are already in overbought region and expect a correction. So for those who are trading options, it looks attractive to buy Microsoft put for strike price around 445, which is the 10 EMA, or even 426, 425, 426. 422 is the mid Bollinger Band. So 445 or 425 puts looks good for Microsoft. All right. We covered Google. The last one is Netflix. Okay, Netflix is trading at all-time high. Was almost close to 1200 at 1196.50. Profit booking happened. Uh, right now, it's touching upper Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, upper Bollinger Band is still showing 1207. So if you are onto it and expecting that it could touch 1200, the upper Bollinger Band is downward and it may touch 1200, but then expect fast correction to happen because it is already in overbought region on weekly, monthly, and daily charts. Um, Correction is due. So if if you are holding for medium to long term, then you could hold for 1200 target. Otherwise, it's still a good price to book profit. Looking at the move that it has had in past 6 weeks, it's at a good price to book your profits. All right. So I think with that. I've covered the request. Any last question or any last request for the day?
Kamal, when can we connect to screen cryptos?
Right. So, Vivek, maybe we can find some time today. I'll message you and then we can connect separately. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So, with that, thank you everyone for joining for this analysis session and also uh, for the orientation session earlier. Hope the analysis that we shared for the indexes and the stocks and ETFs in this session helps you in making some profits this week. And we'll chat with those who enroll in the course on Saturday. And if there are any analysis requests in the GMT groups, we can respond on the groups and take it from there. So with that, thanks everyone, and hope you all have a good remaining part of your long weekend. And see you all in the next analysis session. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kamal. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Vishal.
Thank you, Kamal.
Thanks, Vivek.
Hey Kamal.
Yeah.